What's going on, everybody? How you doing?
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Hope it was a good weekend. Hope it was a fun time, or fun, but also got to be safe. A lot going on these days, but hopefully it was a good weekend, or has been.
And if you're here, hopefully you are in the championship week.
Obviously, that's the that was the whole point, or that was the whole name of the game. Being that gold medal match. So, congrats if you're there.
What's going on, Kyle Nohe? Tim Shields, Anthony, what's going on? Shane Tuck.
Shane.
Big punt. Hey, Mr.
Thanks for
Heine,
joining, everybody.
Sorry about leading you astray last week.
If
it's any consolation, I would have gone down with the ship with you. I would have made the same move. Jamal Williams over Penny. I would have. So if that's any consolation.
Yeah, like I would. That's the whole line of thinking when we're like, it's like we try to put ourselves in that same situation. Like, what would we do? So, unfortunately, it doesn't always work out. But, we have there's like a method to the line of thinking. Unfortunately, sometimes it's going to be wrong, but
yo,
that's
Anthony,
not the goal.
Anthony, I wanted to get to Anthony's question because he says he can't stay long.
Oh, let's do it.
Before we get started from the top. Lost CG, we're guessing that's Chris Godwin. And Gibby, do I move CPAT into my wide receiver spot or KJ Osborne? With your running backs being Singletary, Dillon at flexes, Darrell Williams.
I
would do that.
Yep.
No, I would not start KJ Osborne over CPAT in the wide receiver spot.
Not in this situation.
And I think your running backs are pretty strong right now.
That's fine. Yeah, Dillon at home, Singletary at home. That's fine.
And you got Boston Scott.
He's intriguing.
He is, especially if Jordan Howard doesn't go.
Which he might be limited regardless. He's dealing with an injury right now. Singletary has to be in. I think Dillon has to be in too. I know he's the 1B, but they're at home in a great matchup.
Yeah.
I would go back to Dillon, even though he didn't do great last week. And Williams is going to be the starter with Clyde Edwards-Helaire is out for this week, so Williams has to be in over Scott. As far as Murray or Lance, you have to play Murray, but I'm pretty bullish on Lance this week, John. You're aware. I think Lance is in for a strong week. That being said, I don't think you can pivot off of Kyler Murray.
I mean, what is Kyler Murray? The offense I know has struggled lately. Has that been reflected in his fantasy output?
So
I actually don't know.
Last week was decent. Last week was decent. 245 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, and he ran 4 times for 74 yards. So it was okay. It wasn't great.
But I mean, 2 weeks before that, sub 20 weeks.
Right. I mean, here's the thing. They're playing the Cowboys, who just dropped 59 on Washington. They're not going to get 59 against Arizona, but this could be an offensive showcase between these two teams.
True.
Kyler is a safe play. Lance is an upside play, and it's closer than it would, than it normally is most weeks. But Lance has an argument here. After actually, like when you really take a look at it, Lance has an argument here.
Yeah, there you go. Hope that helps, Anthony.
Yeah, hope that helps.
Thanks
Murray's safe. Murray's a floor play, maybe not as much upside as he normally does. Lance has a lower floor but a higher ceiling.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Kaunohi, yeah, we made it. Happy championship weekend to you too.
Do I not see that?
Assuming Jordan Howard plays, should I start Boston Scott or Michael Carter and have PPR?
I don't know why, but I don't see this question.
It's the first one I got.
It's very weird. Repeat it? I don't see it. Repeat it.
Assuming Jordan Howard plays, should he start
Yeah.
Boston Scott or Michael Carter? Have PPR.
Scott. Carter's scary this week. I think he might play, but I mean he's been banged up this week. He could be limited in this game. With no Miles Sanders, I think Scott has a 1A opportunity here regardless.
Okay.
So I would play Scott over Carter. Carter is playing the Bucks. That's a tough front seven to go against. It's just Carter. I don't have good vibes on Carter this week. Elijah Moore is not going to return from the COVID list. That would make things, that would help the Jets offense. He's not going to play. Scott.
All right, there we go. Tim Shields, what's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up, Tim?
Shane Tuck, Happy New Year to you too. You got two
What's
questions.
going on,
All right. I'm guessing we're gonna have a lot of
we're gonna have some Trey Lance questions. Yep.
And
I did put for if anybody wants to check it out, I did put a video out on Trey Lance earlier this week, on our channel. If you wanna check that out, if anybody has Trey Lance questions. Long story short, I'm high on him this week.
Are you starting him or Huntley, assuming Lamar does
Lance. I would play Lance over Huntley. The matchup is great for both, for quarterbacks and for the rushing upside. Houston is a run funnel defense. They're at home. I'm high on Lance this week. Lance.
All right, and flex one, Edmonds, OBJ, Hollywood Brown.
So the argument here for Odell, I would say if it's PPR, Shane, I would say Odell. The Ravens over the last 4 weeks are giving up the most points to wide receivers for fantasy. Odell's in a smash spot. If it's standard standard actually might, standard might be the answer might be Odell as well, because Edmonds does a lot of his work through pass catching. But
is Connor playing?
He's questionable, and I know he's questionable. I'm not sure if he's practiced this week, but since Edmonds has returned, actually it was just last week. He had by his standards not a great game. Connor did 8 carries for 39 yards. He caught 2 passes for 31. Last week he was inactive. He didn't play. The week before that was that stat line that I just read out. He was limited in Friday's practice, so he's questionable. So it could be a game time call. The Friday practice is a good sign, but he might be limited. So Edmonds is looking to be the 1A this week in that offense. So if Connor goes, and we're not going to actually know this, they play a later game. Odell plays in the earlier slate. The Rams are traveling to the East Coast this week. I think I would lean Odell. Because Edmonds, if Connor plays, Edmonds will be in a timeshare. If he doesn't play, Edmonds is looking like the start, but we're not going to know that before Odell plays. And I like Odell this week because the matchup couldn't be better. So I hope that helps.
OBJ
I would
in any PPR format.
Yeah, I would lean Odell.
Edmonds, fair enough.
Standard might be Edmonds. Even half PPR.
I don't like Hollywood.
Nah,
especially
it just has
with the backup. I think the offense is going to continue to run through
Mark Andrews. Yeah. Hollywood has been
to a certain extent. Yeah.
Hollywood has been not as big of a player as he was at the start of the season.
Not at all.
Yeah, Odell in full PPR, like maybe half PPR, maybe Edmonds if you prefer to play a running back. But I think Odell's in a really good spot this week.
Agreed. Yep. Richie,
what's going on,
start
Richie?
2. St. Brown, DJ Moore, Mike Williams, Darrell Williams, Javonte Williams in PPR. And Happy New Year's to you too.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you. I would go Darrell Williams
St.
and
Brown.
St. Brown.
Darrell Williams and St. Brown.
That's who I would
Javonte?
go. I love Javonte. And he's in a
This is the first week.
He's in a great matchup. I know he's in a phenomenal matchup. But the Broncos are a mess right now because of COVID. They're going to be down multiple receivers. They're going to be down multiple players, including on defense. They're just not. It's not looking good for the Broncos. So I don't have great vibes right now. For Javonte specifically, the matchup is great. And he's been, again, I said it last week. He's a top 15 play as far as like this is who I can confidently fire up. But St. Brown is on such a tear right now. It's a pretty good matchup by the numbers. I think the weather in Seattle I don't think it's supposed to be as bad as it was last weekend when it was snowing. And St. Brown has been, I was worried about him last week with the backup quarterback. He proved that wrong.
I mean, no Hawkinson. He's just
DeAndre Swift might be back, but even if he is, no Hawkinson. I mean, it's going to remain heavily involved.
Since that injury happened, or since he's been out, I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown has been a wide receiver too, at least.
So it is okay. So they are actually calling for a good chance of rain in the forecast. The winds aren't too bad, about 13 miles an hour. That's not bad. But 90% rain at any given time tomorrow in Seattle. Okay, that gives me a little bit of pause on Amon-Ra. Javonte has more favorable conditions. So maybe the edge goes to him, but still, St. Brown has been on a tear. Darrell Williams, I think, is the guy who has to be in, starting Chiefs running back in what could be a shootout.
Yep.
Yeah, Darrell Williams, I think, is the must start here. Javonte is normally a must start. But St. Brown's got a compelling argument. He's been phenomenal. The only concern, I guess, is the weather. It could be better, but I think it's not as bad. It's not going to be snow. It's going to be rain. So, for what that's worth.
Is that better or worse?
I mean,
do we have the analytics on that?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's slippery regardless. Let's put it that way. I mean, it's precipitation. It's going to make it a little harder to catch the ball. So a little bit harder to catch the ball. So for what that's worth. Whereas Javonte is going to be playing in LA tomorrow. Big difference. Maybe that's the difference. The weather is not a concern for Javonte.
Right. Yeah, I guess I would go Darrell Williams, Javonte, and hope that Javonte bounces back and shows something. I mean, he hasn't been what we've expected over the past 2 weeks, but he still cashed in and got a touchdown 2 weeks ago. Last week he didn't have a great fantasy output, but I mean, he could have a bounce back week.
Right.
He could. And we all know that he can do the most with minimal touches. So
right. Maybe he gets more touches with the players that are out tomorrow.
I would go Darrell Williams, Javonte. Yeah, and he might get more targets at least.
Yeah, could see
with
a couple
the team
extra
down,
targets.
Tim Patrick and Judy.
Mm-hmm. True. Okay.
So,
yeah, Javonte. The rain in Seattle. I can't believe I'm once again pivoting away from St. Brown after multiple weeks of him doing it despite all odds.
Yeah, but it's your boy Javonte.
But it's Javonte.
Sorry.
All right, Williams and Javonte.
It's on brand.
Big Pun, what's going on? Happy New Year.
Big Pun, Happy New Year.
Picked up Boston Scott. Opponent has Hunt and Mitchell is questionable. Sure.
All right, playing defense.
Fine.
I like
Play
it.
defense. Play defense.
Pittman, Ayuk, Devontae Smith need one. Wentz is active. Are you starting Wentz? Are you?
Yeah, I doubt it.
You just say it. I know that might just be vote of confidence in Pittman's favor, but are you starting Wentz? Who's your quarterback? If it's a stack?
If it's a stack, then Pittman is like a layup. Devontae Smith has a conversation here as well. Washington is a favorable.
If you're not starting Wentz, then I would go Devontae Smith.
I might agree on that. Devontae Smith, man, he's just a really good. He's a really good wide receiver.
And he's been hitting his ceiling the past few weeks, whereas Pittman has not, like, at all.
And the matchup couldn't be better. Washington gives up the most points to wide receivers in for fantasy purposes this year.
Yeah.
And I think in the last 4 weeks they're in that conversation as well. So it's like the point is, it's not like they've gotten any better. It's not like they've improved. Yep, they're giving up tons of points. I would say Devontae Smith. Actually, I would say Devontae Smith regardless of if Wentz is playing or if you have Wentz or not. And I'm just going to
hopefully you're not starting
playing him.
Hopefully you have a better.
Devontae Smith, big pun.
Mr. Heinen, if Swift gets COVID, would you play Jamal, Devonta, or Penny?
Well,
Penny.
We're assuming Swift is going to play, right? So we have to play Swift. I would play Penny against Detroit at home, where the weather's supposed to be bad, so that probably favors the running game. Penny.
Yeah, Seattle's going to be Seattle. Pete Carroll is going to run the ball. Rashad Penny's the only healthy guy there right now. So
big pun real quick. Jalen Hurts is his quarterback. Devontae Smith. Stack that up.
Yeah.
Stack that up. Devontae Smith. Sorry. I just wanted to lock that in. You were saying about Penny.
No, I like Penny over Jamal Williams if Swift doesn't play this week.
Yes, agreed.
And I said he's the only guy that's healthy there. He's not the only guy that's healthy there, but
no.
Now's his time to do it.
But yeah, they leaned on him again last week
for his whole career basically up to this point. Now's his time to do it. See if he can work his way into a contract. Because they're not gonna re-sign Carson. I don't think he plays.
Well, they re-signed him. That's the question. What's the extent of this neck injury that he's dealing with? But yeah, remains to be seen what the Seahawks will do. But to that point, Penny. What's up, Darius?
What's going on,
Start, sit, Adam Lazard, Burkhead, or Jarrett Patterson. So MVS, I think, is back for the Packers. So that Lazard takes a bit of a hit, even though the matchup is awesome at home against the Vikings.
I think I would go Jarrett Patterson.
Probably Patterson.
Yeah.
Probably Patterson. He's got the
McKissick,
upside.
No Gibson, no Curtis Samuel.
There's 20 touches is 20 touches. He might churn. It might be ugly. It might be 50 yards and a score, but that's 11 or 12 half PPR points. That doesn't even if he catches a ball or two.
Yeah. I'll go Jared Patterson, man.
Burkhead's got a brutal matchup, and Lazard has to deal with MVS being back. Yeah, Patterson. That's the upside play, and I think there's a decent enough floor there. Might be ugly.
What's happening?
But Patterson. What's up, Daggers?
Half PPR, pick 3. Gallup, Lazard, Freeman, Keyshawn Vaughn, Jarrett Patterson, or Berrios.
I think Patterson.
You got to have him in there. Gallup.
I think Gallup is your wide receiver here, and then there's another flex that you have to play.
Berrios? Would you play Berrios against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Yeah, he's interesting. He didn't do much in the receiving game last week, but he had a return touchdown. He had a special teams touchdown, so that salvaged his day. But I think he only had 5 for 37. If I'm randomly remembering that correctly, I think it was 5 for 37 Berrios had. So not too much in the receiving game, but again, the return touchdown buoyed him. So it's a little dicey, but by the numbers, the matchup is good. Tampa Bay does give up points to wide receivers. That front seven is gnarly. And they've been better recently. They're not at the top of the, it's still a top 10 type of situation. As far as over the last 4 weeks, I think they are 10th in fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. So by the numbers, it's a good matchup for Berrios. It's just are the Jets able to actually get that done? The other guy here, and since it's half PPR, is not Freeman, Vaughn, because of the matchup, especially if Mike Evans and Antonio Brown are out again.
Yes.
Or sorry, if Mike Evans is out again and Antonio Brown has to, like, if they're down their wide receivers, then Vaughn. I would say if either Evans or Brown, if not both, miss daggers, then I would play Vaughn. If both of those guys are in, the guy I think I would play is Freeman, Devontae Freeman, because at least it's like a decent floor running back play. Or, you know, it might not be, it might be boring, but it's like it's salvageable. It'll work at home. But if Evans or AB misses, I would play Vaughn as my third guy there. So Patterson and Gallup are in. Vaughn would be my next man up, depending on who's available for the Bucs. And if Evans and Brown are both healthy, I think I would pivot to Devontae Freeman over a guy like Braxton Berrios, since it's half PPR. Freeman seeds work to Latavius Murray, but he has remained the 1A, and he catches passes. And again, they're at home.
I think I'd rather have Freeman than Vaughn.
Freeman than Vaughn?
Yeah.
That's the safe play. Vaughn would be the upside play.
And I kind of feel like I would need to err on the safe side and just make sure that I'm picking up points. And the ceiling game from him, he can get you like 15 points. That's pretty decent. We've seen it for stretches this season. I over a guy that I've never seen it from, who had a long run, made his day last week.
True.
I mean,
but it's a great matchup.
I know. I would go Freeman though.
Okay.
Gallup, Patterson, Freeman.
Okay. I would say Gallup, Patterson. I would say I don't mind swinging for the fences with Vaughn if Evans and AB are out. But Freeman's a safe play. So, yep, agreed. Damon, Happy New Year.
What's going on, Damon?
Happy New Year to everybody. Anybody who's just joining, has been joining. Hopefully it was a good day.
Dirtbag, what's happening?
What's up, Dirtbag? Burkhead, Vaughn, Brandon Bolden, DJ Dallas. Oof. From Burkhead. This group, I don't like Burkhead against San Francisco.
But I mean, to your point, getting all the work. Which one of these other
he'll
guys
get all
is
the work.
I'm
interested in Vaughn tomorrow. I'm interested in Vaughn because it's the Jets. They give up so much production to running backs. And the Bucs might find themselves running the ball all second half. This is a very lopsided matchup on paper. I'm intrigued by Vaughn if Evans or Brown has to miss, Dirtbag. But if you want the safe guy who should see 15 plus touches, Burkhead. But if the Bucs are coming in and ruling some of their wide receivers out, I don't hate the moonshot to Vaughn. But Burkhead is like a safe, boring floor play.
I'd be going Burkhead because we saw that he has a pretty tremendous ceiling when he hits it. He hit it last week. It was a huge game, but yeah, I would be going Rex Burkhead.
That was against
I know
the Chargers
matchup.
Too.
You got to take
much
that
better
into account.
Matchup. This is a much tougher matchup.
No, we're not expecting the ceiling, but we've seen it.
No. Yeah.
I still don't know. I mean, Keyshawn Vaughn, one run.
I know. I understand. It's the fact that he should get some work, and it's the Jets. That's all. That's literally it.
I'm going Burkhead though, man. Hope that helps, and Happy New Year to you, Damon. Yes, your squad: Dak, Kamara, Montgomery, Kupp, Higgins, Goddard, Rojo, Matt Gay, Patriots D. Hey, that's a solid squad. Bench Connor, Akers, D. Williams.
Or it was like looks like a couple of maybe deleted messages. I don't know if there was a question about who to start, but I mean, yeah, that looks good to me. I wouldn't make any changes.
Darrell Williams or Rojo.
Rojo, it's the Jets. I just got done saying it's the Jets. I can't then say, it's Ronald Jones.
Fair.
Ronald Jones.
Greg Z, what's happening?
What's up, Greg? Happy New Year.
Yes, sir. And hey, thank you for
thanks
being part of the community,
for returning. But we need one for PPR. Williams or Jacobs? Williams. Wait. Oh, the Raiders are not. The Raiders are playing the Colts. No, Darrell Williams. And if AB can't play,
Folk, that one's all you. But I would be going Darrell Williams.
And if AB can't play Gage or Parker, Parker's got the better matchup by far. But he goose-egged last week.
I'd be going Gage.
He goose-egged last week, so it's hard to trust him. I guess I would go Gage as well, but the matchup is brutal. The matchup hurts. Despite the fact that they lost Tre'Davious White, the Bills are still, a bottom half of the league matchup against wide receivers. It's not an ideal matchup. I know Gage has had his wide receiver 2 weeks. Did he dud last week?
I believe so, yes.
I think he dudded last week. The second we finally come around to him.
But I mean, they're gonna need to score points against the Bills. They don't have trade day.
Poop, he did dud last week. 4 for 30.
Levi Wallace is a good quarterback, but he's not unburnable.
No.
Or a good cornerback, not quarterback. So Russell Gage there over Devontae Parker. And Zerline or Falk, where are you going?
I'm not convinced by Gage, but I understand the logic. But anyway, as far as Zerline or Falk, I think the Patriots are what are they 10-point favorites?
Yo, GTA 5 Epic Vids, thank you for subbing. Appreciate it.
Appreciate that. That's awesome. Let me just check the spread really quick of this game. But I think I would go Falk. The Patriots are like, are they 10-point favorites tomorrow? They're big favorites tomorrow.
I don't know.
Let me just check the spread really quickly. 15.5 Falk. Patriots are expected to win this game going away. They should be tacking on points at the end of the game. Falk's been a top 3 option this year, each and every week. Falk. Like when they big favorites at home. As long as the weather's not too bad in New England tomorrow, or Foxborough. What's the let's see. Let me just check to make sure that there's no high winds. But as long as there's no high winds, we're going Falk. When you're 15.5-point favorites, lock it in. Let's see. 1 o'clock. 4 mile per hour winds, 4 mile per hour winds, 6 mile per hour winds. There might be a little bit of rain, but that's not enough to deter me. Falk.
There you go.
So you got it.
And Elias, what's happening, man?
What's up, Elias?
You have a great team for the finals. Hell yeah, good to hear. Glad to hear it.
Go Penny Williams or Elijah Mitchell in standard.
If Elijah Mitchell is playing,
he is playing.
Okay,
but or I think he's quite maybe he's on the right. I think he's on the right side of questionable, but it hasn't been like confirmed. I think I would play Penny there. I think I would play Penny at home against the Lions. Slight edge to him over. It's close. Like Rashad Penny and Javonte Williams are like neck and neck, and like as far as RB2 in the rankings this week, or if I had to rank them this week, you're talking like one is 18, one is 19, or one is like 16, one is 17, one is 17, one is 18, something like that. They're right there. I give a slight edge to Penny at home. Seattle's they're a mess this year, but they're less of a mess than Denver right now. Slight edge to Penny. Especially because it's standard. Like Javonte, to the earlier point, Javonte might see a few extra looks, a few extra targets, which is great, but there's no benefit, there's no extra boost there in standard.
True.
Penny.
Yeah, I guess I go Penny too. It's just
it pains me to be off Javonte a bit this
all
week,
these guys, they're grouped so close together, to your point. I mean, 16, 17, 18, these guys. So it's really preference. Penny's going to get the majority of the work. I know Elijah Mitchell should too. Javonte's going to split.
Yep.
It's hard for me to swerve away from Elijah Mitchell based off on his track record when starting.
True. And given this matchup,
right,
too, against Houston. But Debo's going to siphon work. Trey Sermon is expected to be activated for whatever that's worth. Jeff Wilson is there, and Trey Lance is in line to start. So you're talking about like 5 dudes who could potentially be splitting more. Now, Elijah Mitchell is going to be the 1A when it's all said and done as far as the running back. But Debo's going to see work. Trey Lance is going to take work. Does Jeff Wilson see 10 to 15 snaps? Does Sermon somehow mix in and, if there's a garbage time situation? Like, there's a lot going on in that backfield all of a sudden. True.
All right, yeah, Rashad Penny, Elias.
I really like Mitchell. I do, but I think Penny's the play here. He's trending toward playing. Elijah Mitchell is. He's trending toward playing, but he is questionable. I think that's what ultimately tips the scales for me. Penny doesn't have an injury designation right now. And Mitchell, not just Mitchell, Javonte also has an injury designation as well. So, Penny.
There you go.
What's up, Chuck, man?
What's going on,
Happy
Chuck?
New Year. Defense and kicker, Rams or Bears? Bears. They're playing at home. The weather is supposed to suck in Chicago tomorrow. 20-mile-per-hour winds. That's going to cause all types of issues for the offense. The Giants are an offense to target anyway. The Bears are not good, but this matchup you can't ask for it any much better these days when you get to play the Giants. Mike Glennon, Jake Fromm, it doesn't matter. They're giving up sacks and turnovers. Chicago at home.
And what about Elliott, McPherson, or Joseph?
I like all of these. Greg Joseph is actually, I don't like Greg Joseph. Not backup quarterback in Lambeau. No, thank you. I want nothing to do with Greg Joseph this week. In that situation, it's between McPherson and Jake Elliott. I like them both this week. I think they're both in good situations. I think I give the slight edge to McPherson. They're both at home, Elliott's on the road. But McPherson's at home against Kansas City. Kansas City's been they're much improved on defense, but this Bengals offense can hang points on you, and they're at home. There's shootout potential here. If the Chiefs force the Bengals offense to sputter out here and there in field goal range, McPherson could be lined up for a big kick or two. I think I give the slight edge to McPherson. Elliott should be fine as well, but he gave me a little bit of a scare last week where it took him till the third quarter to score any points. He came through. He ended up delivering. They both did. I think I give the slight edge to McPherson at home.
There you go. Lawrence Franklin, semifinals.
Elliott should be safe. McPherson, I think, has a little bit more upside, but that's all I got to say. Lawrence is in the semifinals. Okay.
To that point, we will be doing live streams next week. We will not be having one in the morning on Sundays. I think at least for the next few streams until we figure out what our off-season schedule is going to be. That Sunday morning stream might just be an in-season thing, but we will have something coming Saturday night moving forward, same time, 6 p.m. EST. So come back for the finals for you, Lawrence, and we'll help you out with any questions.
Yep.
And big pun, Everett or Uzoma lost Waller this week. I'd be going Gerald Everett. So Uzoma's been... He had a hot stretch where he was catching 2 touchdowns a game, but ever since Tyler Boyd has really re-emerged as the tertiary...
He's like the underneath guy.
Yeah, receiving option there. It's come to the detriment of Uzoma. And the one passing game option, receiving option that's been steady for the past really 6 to 8 games for the Seahawks is Gerald Everett. He's been great. I mean, especially in tight end premium formats. It was something Nick and I were talking about off stream before the stream started. We both like Everett this week.
Yeah, I guess the 90% chance of precipitation is a little concerning, but that just might be a good thing for the short passing game, which helps the tight end.
Yeah.
So Everett is safer with touchdown upside more touchdown upside than Uzomah because there's a lot more ahead of Uzomah in the Bengals offense. Everett.
Yep. And Caleb, what's going on?
What's up, Caleb? Taysom Hill or Trey Lance? Lance, baby.
Trey Lance.
And you have Debo and Kittle.
Do it up.
Stack it up.
Stack
it up. Yep. Great Matt. I'm a big proponent of Trey Lance this week. Similar reasons for upside as Taysom Hill, but much better weapons, which you have. And the matchup couldn't be better. Houston is it's a QB1 matchup on the season for quarterbacks, and it's a top 5 option for running backs. And Lance is going to run. Trey Lance.
Yep.
Jason, what's going on? Pittman or DJ
Jason?
Moore? We can't play. I mean, what did DJ
Pittman.
Moore do last week? It's got to be Pittman.
I mean, I know Sam Darnold is starting again for the Carolina Panthers, and that technically is a little bit better for DJ Moore than a guy like PJ Walker or Cam Newton. Mm-hmm. But Pittman's got Wentz back. Wentz is back, activated off the COVID list. So I think you got to stick with Pittman. I know he hasn't hit his ceiling lately, but neither has DJ Moore. But I think Pittman has a nicer floor. It's a slightly higher floor for Pittman. I'd be sticking with Pittman.
So just to be clear, Wentz does still need to clear COVID protocols. I'm kind of fuzzy on these details, but just because you're activated off the COVID list doesn't necessarily mean you have been cleared. This is what happened to Travis Kelce last week. He was activated off the COVID list, but he didn't clear protocols. According to Ian Rappaport, Wentz is expected to clear protocols, but it hasn't happened yet. So just keep an eye on that, Jason. Obviously, if Wentz is out, that makes Pittman less enticing. Not that DJ Moore's situation is much better, but that would be one situation where it is.
Yep.
So
I would agree.
Yeah.
And a big pun.
Yes, sir. Big pun.
Eagles
Let's
fan.
get this. Yep. So they'll beat Washington tomorrow. I feel okay. I feel kind of confident saying that they'll beat Washington tomorrow. The Cowboys game is going to depend on if the Cowboys need it at all. If the Cowboys are resting starters, then they're good. But if they have to play the Cowboys at full strength, that's a little tougher. Well, we'll see what happens. But it looks like they're going to make the playoffs at this point. They'll be the last. They might have to play like the Rams or the Bucks. But whatever. Let's go to the dance and see what happens.
All right, and 49ers, Packers, or Seahawks, D?
The Packers at home against a backup quarterback.
Sean Mannion. Yeah, I would go the Packers too.
The Packers, like the Vikings.
No Thielen in that offense as well.
Right, Thielen's
Looks
out. Like
Tyler
Dalvin
Conklin's
Cook
a little bit banged up.
And Dalvin Cook is not like Dalvin Cook might have a big game, but that's not enough for me to think that defense can't still do well. At home, yeah, give me Green Bay. The Packers, I think, are playing to clinch the 1 seed, so they'll be up for this game. Could be a lot of sacks in the second half.
Yeah, I can see it.
What's up, Kaminoe? Play Eli Mitchell over Rojo or Darrell Williams this week. It's enticing for sure.
Nah, I don't think I would.
But because of all of the variables with Eli Mitchell, Trey Lance might siphon
Who's in your
more.
flex? That'd be my
Samuel.
question.
Yeah, I guess if maybe you have an anchor running back and then Rojo is the RB2 and Williams is the flex, I would keep it that way. Mitchell's got a lot working against him as far as competition for touches, and the knee injury. So I like Eli, but this week the matchup couldn't be better. Houston is a run funnel defense.
Yeah.
Williams is going to should get all the work out of the backfield, or most of the work. Derek Gore will mix in, but Williams will be the starter. Just a better offense, and Ronald Jones has the best matchup, and is the clearest guy here should get the most work. So Mitchell's close though. It's such a good situation for him.
If it wasn't for the matchup against the Jets, I'd be going Mitchell over Rojo, but matchup against the Jets.
Yep. Tim Shields, Yahoo, full PPR, 3 receiver league, CPAT, Gabriel Davis, Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf, Rojo, Darrell Williams, Gage, Ramondre Stevenson, Jarrett Patterson, Jeff Wilson.
Well, Hill is in. Rojo is in.
Darrell Williams
is this just like,
in.
or is this the starting lineup, and we're just trying to figure out, or is it like, hang on a second, Rojo,
No.
Darrell Williams.
That's
what's
not the starting lineup?
Who are you between, Tim? Is, I guess, like,
Well, 3 receiver, 2 running back flex, right?
Hill's got to be in. I mean,
CPAT has got to be a wide receiver.
Patterson's got to be in as a wide receiver.
Then it's Gabe Davis or Russell Gage.
Or Russell Gage or DK. I got to go DK. Gabe Davis is coming off the COVID list. I have a little bit of pause there, despite the phenomenal matchup. I would play DK even though it feels gross. And then Rojo, Darrell Williams, and then at the flex, I would probably play Ramondre.
You wouldn't
Patriots
play
are 15. Yes, they're 15.5-point favorites. I think Stevenson's going to get work. It is his first game coming off the COVID list too.
Right.
There is that. Patterson has got
100%
the
fresh.
volume.
No McKissick,
Patterson has
no
the
Gibson,
volume.
no Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, Patterson's got the volume in his favor. So maybe so that's the flex. There you go.
Yeah.
Patterson. Stevenson is
I'd go Patterson.
Stevenson's got a great situation, but first week coming off the COVID list. I mean, we've seen multiple guys bomb out first week back from the COVID list. So, Patterson in the flex.
Eddie, what's going on, bro?
What's good, Eddie?
What's happening? Lawrence Franklin, who you guys got? Gallup, Hunt, Ogunbowale, Bateman, Pollard, Scott, Patterson for flex full PPR.
I mean,
Scott. Just going Scott.
It could be. I mean, it could be Scott. Gallup has a role there. I don't think I would go Kareem Hunt first game, but would I not go Kareem Hunt? The Pittsburgh Steelers are getting absolutely boat raced by opposing running backs.
I'd be going Scott.
He's questionable.
Full PPR. He's a PPR running back.
I would not. Okay. Kareem Hunt is questionable for the game, and it's a Monday night game. So if he gets ruled out or is limited, you are absolutely stuck with no other options. I would not play Kareem Hunt. I would leave him on the bench for this week. Gallup has a conversation because it's full PPR. Scott, I think, will be the 1A in a great rushing attack. Patterson should get 20 touches. Pollard is an explosive player. Bateman and Ogunbowale, I think, are not in the conversation here, given these other options.
Right.
Gallup is a safe play with full PPR in what I think, the Cowboys offense is going to, they should stay hot at home. Scott is safe RB2. Patterson is maybe a little bit more of a risky RB2, but he's got the volume in his favor.
But if Jordan Howard doesn't play, Scott has that same volume in his favor.
If Jordan Howard doesn't play,
because he can operate on third downs, with
Jordan Howard doesn't play, then Scott.
But
if Jordan Howard doesn't play, then Scott for sure.
Yeah.
And Scott might be, and again, Scott will be the 1A anyway. This offense is rolling as far as running the ball.
Yeah. I'd go Scott because
Scott might be the favorite here.
I could see Patterson could get game scripted out.
Yeah.
That's my only concern here, and I don't think that Scott will get game scripted out.
Yeah.
Because that team likes to run the ball to win and run the ball to. Once they're in the winning position,
they chew clock, they keep the ball.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Scott.
Yep.
There you go. All right. Eddie's RBs are screwed. What do we got? This looks
Penny
fine.
Connor, AJ Dillon, Melvin Gordon.
Melvin, I like it.
Darrell Williams. Yeah, that's not a
I think you're all right. I would play Penny. I would play Williams, and I would play Dylan in a great. Melvin Gordon is he completely bombed last week, but he's been steady this year, and the matchup is really good. But the situation is not. Penny, Williams, Dylan. I think all three have better situations than Gordon.
And Jarvis or Mike Evans.
I mean, yeah, that's.
Hey, if Mike Evans plays and
conversation.
Antonio Brown doesn't, I'm starting Mike Evans over Jarvis Landry.
If Mike Evans is active, you have to play Mike Evans.
Yeah.
If Mike Evans is active, you have to play him. He's definitely volatile to re-aggravate a hand. Like, he's that type of player where he could re-aggravate a hamstring injury and throwing up a goose egg. But the upside with a guy like him is he has to be in your lineup.
GTA
but Jarvis
5,
is a fine. If he's out, then sure, Jarvis. But
yeah.
But if Evans is in, even if they're saying he might be on a pitch count, play him.
GTA 5 Epic Vids, thanks again for the sub. Who do I flex? Tony Pollard, Brandon Ayuk, or Kyle Pitts, or Jarrett Patterson? I'm guessing that's Patterson and not Cordero.
Yeah, that's got to be Jarrett Patterson.
I'd be going Pollard or Patterson. And I guess I'd be going Patterson.
Patterson's got the volume. Touches. Patterson's got the volume, but he's got a little bit more downside. Pollard doesn't have the volume, but game script could be in his favor this week, and there's upside for a big play.
Yeah, but he could also.
It's going to be limited
go
touches.
Up so much to the point where, I mean, last week Corey Clement was on the field seeing fourth quarter snaps.
Well, they had.
It
was
Pollard wasn't out there. I know, but
what was the score? Like, they were preserving Pollard. They didn't need him,
but
they're going to need him this week.
I mean, the Washington football team is going to need Patterson. He's the only person out there.
There's a reason Pollard didn't see much time last week. It was a blowout.
Well, yeah, could happen again.
Arizona's way better than Washington.
Very
I know they're not playing well.
Yes,
they're not playing well right now, but they're better than Washington. Like, they're going to put up more of a fight.
Who are you going with, Pollard or Patterson?
Pollard is the upside play. Patterson is in this situation, I think Patterson has less upside than Pollard, but Patterson's floor should be fine. Patterson is a floor play, maybe not, Patterson's a floor play, low end RB2. Pollard is an upside, Pollard's an upside play. Maybe it's more of like an RB, like a high upside RB3, but like high RB2 upside.
I'd go with Patterson. He seems safer to me with the workload that he's getting, and I feel like he has basically the same floor as Pollard, and he has a little bit higher of a ceiling just because he's going to have more touch exposure.
Yep.
So Patterson, to me, there's nobody else there.
Yep.
But we're split on that one because Nick would go Pollard. So
I mean, he's the
preferential.
If I felt like I needed upside, if I felt like I needed to swing for the fences, like can't play it safe type of situation, Pollard. But if I feel like I'm like I can make the play that is like this just gets me what I need, and that's all I need, then Patterson.
And Anthony, glad we could help. Leo DiLoretto, what's happening? Standard League Burrows, who had a crazy game last week. Herbert or Lance? Who you going with, man?
This is difficult. Burrow, I probably Burrow. Do you have any stacks, Leo? Do you have receivers for any of these guys? Do you have Jamar Chase? Do you have T. Higgins, Keenan Allen, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle? Do you have any of these guys? That might influence my decision a little bit because there's three good options.
Yeah.
Lance, I would say, has the most upside. I would say Burrow in a potential shootout would be my safe play.
It's hard to say Burrow doesn't have the most upside, or it's hard not to say.
Kansas City's playing Kansas City's playing much better than
like I know you like Lance a lot this week. Lance a lot,
got him.
But I mean, Burrows, and I'm not expecting another 500-yard output from him this week, but
Lance a lot.
I feel like you got to go back to that well. We haven't seen it from Lance. I got to see it from Lance first. Championship week on the line. You don't want to. I know you like Lance. You don't want to put up a complete goose egg. Burrow's not going to get you that. And we saw a ceiling game from him last week, and it was impressive. I'd be going back to Burrow. And if I'm not going Burrow, if I have a stack with Herbert, I'd be going with Herbert over Lance still. Those guys, I like Lance. That's a tier break.
No stacks.
I like Lance. That's a tier break. Championship week, all on the line.
I'm not afraid of him, man. I'm not afraid to pull the trigger on Lance. I'm like swing for the I'm not afraid to swing for the fence.
I have done that before.
Burrow is the safe play, Leo. But like,
if
you're Burrow's this, well, that
the championship
not every outcome's going to be the same every time.
Like a couple years ago, I swerved to Colin Kaepernick in the finals and lost. So I mean,
well, that was a couple of years ago.
I know.
Burrow's the safe play. It's a much tougher matchup this week. Baltimore is a train wreck on defense right now. Kansas City's not.
I understand that.
Not. It's at home. That's good for Burrow. Could be a shootout. Obviously good for Burrow if that happens to be the case. Lance has the much better matchup and the rushing upside. That's all I'll say. I think Lance is a top 10 quarterback this week with championship winning upside. Not guaranteed, but the upside is there. Burrow's a safe play. Lance is the upside play.
There you go. Iago,
Herbert's good. Herbert's really good too. But they might not need to do too much.
I really like Burrow's weapons. I know
Burrow's got great.
I know Kansas City has their defense has put on a show the past few weeks, and they've been the highlight of the team. Good. It hasn't been the offense, which is kind of crazy.
Right.
But they're still a team to beat. It's still a rival within the same. I mean, within the AFC. Young quarterback. Burrows wants to show it. And Burrow's got great weapons, man. Everywhere. You look at everywhere, going 3 wide receivers deep. Even their 4th wide receiver in Auden Tate's a pretty solid wide receiver, would be a number 3 on other teams.
Right. They got Mixon, who's obviously
CJ Uzoma is a very good receiving tight end. Yeah, I mean, Burrow's got weapons everywhere.
Lance does too.
I can't move away from
George Kittle's a top 3 option any given week. Deebo Samuel's been top 5 any given week. Brandon Ayuk is not as
but after those top 2, there's a talent gap.
He's going to run. After those 2, he's going to run.
I like Burrows more, man.
That's the X factor. All right.
Burrows.
You like Burrow a little bit more. I think I like the swing. I like Lance a little bit more. I mean, they should all be fine. Fine. It's just a matter of personal preference at this point.
Fair.
Personal preference. What's up, Iago? Happy New Year.
Yes, sir.
And
Caleb,
got
for
one
your
more.
flex spot, should you go with Ramondre Stevenson because Damian Harris is limited all week in practice, or go with Ogunbowale, Jarvis Landry, Allen Lazard, or Jared Patterson have PPR?
Patterson. We just kind of had this conversation about this was somebody else's question.
I would go
as
Patterson,
well.
or Ogunbowale over Ramondre Stevenson.
I'd play Patterson
because Harris. I don't think he's in danger of not playing. I think it was kind of a maintenance thing, wasn't it? He's
Harris, yeah.
I
think Harris is going to play. I think Ramondre has an opportunity here to get involved with them.
He's a flex play, but I would rather start an RB2 play over a flex play.
Yeah, and coming off what makes him a flex play is the first week back from the COVID list. The matchup is great. The situation is great. The game script should be very much in his favor. That first game back off the COVID list gives me pause. Jared Patterson should be the guy without that concern.
So should Ogunbowale.
Yeah, but the fact that they're 15 points, you want to talk about getting potentially phased out of the offense.
And weirdly, Tavon Austin was getting running back touches in that offense.
And Bill Belichick eats young QB-led offenses alive. It's a must-win game for the Patriots in a game that they should win. Give me Jared Patterson. Among these options.
And Leo, one more. Hey, it's all good. Need 2 of 5. Javonte, Mitchell, Cooks, Amon-Ra, Kirk.
Those running backs, since it's standard.
I would go. Yeah, the running backs.
Those running backs, since it's standard.
It's hard not to go with Brandon Cooks, but in standard, I get it.
And I think they're playing well. Houston's playing San Francisco. San Francisco gives up a lot of points to wide receivers recently.
Who's your wide receivers that you're starting over Brandon Cooks? But I would go with the 2 running backs.
49ers.
But it's hard for me not to play Brandon Cooks. What was that?
Me neither. It's the 49ers giving up top 5 production to wide receivers recently for fantasy. So it's a really good matchup by the numbers. Here's the thing. You can kind of, Leo, here's the advantage. All these dudes play in the late window. All of them. They all play in the late window. So feel out your situation. Like, who do you have going in the early window, and how many guys does your opponent have in the early window? You can kind of tinker with your lineup late if you feel like you need to. I would maybe plug your running backs in if Eli Mitchell's ruled out. If you feel like you're trailing and you need an upside play, you can put Cooks in. You could pivot to Amon-Ra if Eli Mitchell's ruled out. I would maybe say Javonte should be in there for sure. Eli Mitchell, you can pivot to one of these dudes in the late window if he's ruled out. So, I would put Eli Mitchell in your flex, depending on who's in your flex. I would want to put Eli Mitchell in my flex in the event that I need to pivot off of him for one of the wide receivers. But see how your matchup's going tomorrow, depending on the early window, and you can make a call. He's got
AJ Brown over Cooks. Is it 1 wide receiver?
Got it. I mean, play it by ear. I would put the running backs in tentatively. I would flex Mitchell if you can, unless AJ Brown is the one who's in the flex. Was that the situation? No. Okay, I would put Mitchell in the flex and feel out the situation. Pivot to Cooks if he's out, or if you feel like you need an upside play.
There you go.
Sad Jay, what's going on?
What's going on, Sad Jay Cully?
Gesicki, Everett, or Foster Moreau? Everett, right? Despite the rain concerns tomorrow, I mean, Everett's been a big part of that Seattle offense.
Moreau's been a big part of the Raiders offense. No Waller.
It's a really good matchup by the numbers.
No weather concerns.
No weather concerns in the dome. In our joint league, we have Everett in there over Foster Moreau.
Okay, yes. Pivot? Everett.
I mean, the Lions don't give up. The Lions are actually like middle of the pack against tight ends, but Everett's been a big part of what the Seahawks offense has been doing recently. They're at home. Foster Moreau has the much better matchup, but Everett, I think, is a little bit safer. Everett feels a little bit safer.
Iago, at my flex, who should I start? Chase or James Jones?
Or Ronald Jones.
Ronald Jones.
You have Eckler, Zeke, Damian Harris, Monty, and Jones. Well, Eckler and Zeke have to be in. Damian Harris probably needs to be in if you have
and you can actually
Jones. Can you put Damian Harris in your flex? That would probably be what I would do. That's probably what I would do. Eckler and Zeke have to be in. And then can you play Damian Harris at home? Like 2 touchdown
You like Damian Harris over Montgomery and Ronald Jones this week?
I think I do like
playing.
And questionable. It's a really good situation with Damian Harris. He's coming up. I mean, he's not going to score 3 touchdowns again, most likely, but he just came off of the RB1 performance. Can you sit Damian Harris? Is the question, I think. He's coming off the RB1 performance. Is he going to do that again? Probably not, but
the RB2 performance was probably Ronald Jones, was it not?
I think it was Mixon.
Okay, you're right.
But Jones I think he was up there. He was.
And now he has the best matchup he will have all year, and any running back has all year. The Jets.
All right, Jones. I mean, that's tough.
Okay, Harris is the floor play, and Jones is the ceiling play. But the distinction between the two is not
a lot.
Right.
I agree with that.
So it just depends if you want to shoot for the moon or not, man. If you want to shoot for the moon, roll with Ronald Jones. If you want to play it safe, Damian Harris.
You can flex one of those two.
Yep. And would y'all start Swift over Justin Jefferson at flex? I would.
Oh, man.
It's tough. It's just Sean Mannion. I don't trust Sean Mannion. I know he's going to get peppered with targets. He's going to have to carry the team.
I think I would, too. If Swift plays, I think I would.
Swift was the top 3 running back when he was, through the first, 6 to 8 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Swift.
Seattle's been better against running backs recently, but they're still a top 10 matchup by the numbers last 4 weeks. If Swift plays, because of the fact that it's not Cousins, I would. And if he doesn't, Justin Jefferson plays in the Sunday night game, so you can move him right back in.
Sean Mannion's played in 3 games, I believe.
Swift is a guy.
No touchdowns, I believe.
It's going to be hard for me to pivot off of It's going to be hard for me to pivot off of Justin Jefferson, despite that. But Swift is one of those dudes I'd be willing to do it for.
Yeah. Swift and Dirtbag, hey.
Play it safe.
Burkhead's not a bad play, so
you can do that. Yep. You can do that. He should get 15 touches.
And Damon, sorry, man. Damon, glad we can help, man. Let's go, championship.
Sir. Get that chip, man.
And if AB is out in my flex, should you start Van Jefferson, Gabe Davis, Foster Moreau, or Jordan Howard? Van Jeff?
Yeah, I'm thinking Van Jefferson. The Ravens are like I said earlier with Odell. The Ravens are giving up the most fantasy points to wide receivers the past 4 weeks. The Rams do well in these early games when they have to play with what's for them a 10 a.m. game. When they have to play in the early slate, they play well under Sean McVay. It's a great spot for Van. I think that would be my guy.
What's going on, Andrew?
What's up, Andrew?
Bateman if Brown sits, DJ Moore or Michael Carter in the flex?
More over Bateman.
More with Darnold starting. Gets a little bit of a boost with Darnold starting. If you remember over the first 6 games of the year when Darnold was starting over that hot stretch when he was running for touchdowns at a league-winning rate, DJ Moore was a top
He was still he was,
in fantasy. So I think I don't think he returns to that, but he has that type of ceiling. I don't know if any of these other guys have that type or are as good of a bet to hit that ceiling. Michael Carter has that ceiling. I don't know if he's as good of a bet to hit it with nobody else in that offense. So, DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Kainsey, what's going on?
What's up, Kainsey?
Got a Bears question. Green Bay, LA, or Bears?
Which one of these? Yeah, which one of these defenses?
Yep.
The Bears are in a great stream smashed spot tomorrow, but the Packers happened but another one kind of fell into the Packers' lap, right? With Kirk Cousins being out. The Packers were looking good to handle the Vikings with Kirk Cousins. Now Kirk Cousins is out, and also they put I'm blanking on his name. One of their starting defensive tackles is out as well. This is just shaping up to be a nightmare scenario for the Vikings. No Adam Thielen. Down there to a backup quarterback. They're not starting Kellen Mond. Was he a third-round pick, fourth-round pick? Third-round pick.
Third-round pick, yep.
Couldn't beat out Sean Mannion, him, who has not thrown a touchdown in his career.
There was that quarterback run and went like Trask, Mond Mills, I believe. Top of the third this past year. But yeah, keep going.
Yep. Bad situation for the Vikings. Dalvin Cook's coming back. Cool. Dalvin Cook might do well tomorrow. Probably should. Should probably see 25 touches. Packers have some good opportunities for sacks and turnovers tomorrow, and they're just the better team. If you believe in that narrative, go with the Packers. The Bears have as almost as good a matchup as you could possibly ask against the Giants. If that's what you prefer, then the Bears. But the Packers are the better team in not so different a situation than the Bears are.
I'd be going Green Bay. Also, Gronk, Goddard, Pitts, or Knox at tight end. I'd be going Gronk, man. I know he dudded last week.
Yeah.
But with no AB, who went 9 for 90 and something, just didn't catch a touchdown. Didn't he? Like 9 for 90 something? Or did he break 100?
I think he did break 100.
He might have broken 100.
Right. He didn't score a touchdown, but they didn't need him. The Bucs had that game in hand by the third quarter.
Right, but if he's not out there, if Mike Evans can't get out there, Gronk, even if Mike Evans is out there, pitch count, I would still go Gronk. Yeah.
Probably Gronk.
Yep. Knox, I would have liked more if they still didn't have Gabe Davis and Cole Beasley. But it looks like the Bills are going to have Gabe Davis and Cole Beasley back for this game, which means slight downgrade to Knox, but not much. But it's enough for me to put Gronk ahead of him.
It's all really good options.
Yeah, it is.
4 really good options.
Yep.
But, yeah, I'm good with Gronk.
Altuan, what's going on? Start MVP. Is that MBS?
That MBS, yeah. Or Mike Williams.
You have Herbert.
I have Herbert. Oh, and he has Rodgers. Okay, so it is MVS. Mike Williams is the chalk play, but he's coming off the COVID list. So we have to wonder if,
And we've seen a slight emergence from Josh Palmer.
Little bit.
So
bad matchup by the numbers, whereas MVS has a phenomenal matchup by the numbers. I think I might give... crap.
MVS?
MVS is also coming off the COVID list. I think I would play... I think because both of them are coming off the COVID list, I would play your stack, not his to your stack, if that makes sense. I think I would play Mike Williams because you have Herbert. Given the fact that they're both in very similar situations, Williams is the chalk play anyway. MVS is a moonshot play. If you're sitting there like I look like a huge underdog, I don't know if I'm gonna win. If that's how you're looking, then maybe MVS has an argument here as a swing for the fences, like all or nothing.
No, I would be going.
But I think I would play
still.
Mike Williams. I
think Mike Williams is that moonshot boom bust type guy. You're hoping, and you have the stock there, the stack. I would stick with the stack regardless.
Play your. I think play your stack. Play your guy. Play Mike Williams.
Tim, I see what you're doing there. I see what you did there. Nice. Pukes, what's going on? Landry, Boyd, MVS, PPR, pick one. Boyd against the Chiefs.
It's between Boyd or MVS. MVS has a phenomenal matchup, but he's coming off the COVID list. So I guess I would play Boyd. He's been better of late, and it should be. Points should be scored against Kansas or with them playing the Chiefs. I think game script is much more in Boyd's favor. Yeah, Boyd.
Yep.
Boyd. Especially in PPR, the avenue to a floor play at worst is safer for Boyd than it is for MVS.
GTA Epic Vids. Standard flex, Pitts, Ayuk, Patterson, Pollard.
Patterson.
Was this
we might have
answered
gotten
earlier?
that already. Yep.
Yeah, it did.
Yep.
Patterson's the you like Patterson. I don't hate
like
the idea
Pollard.
of Pollard for an upside play, but Patterson should be fine as a safe play as well.
Brian Gibbons, thanks for joining us.
What's up, Brian?
16-team PPR, pick 2, Scary
go.
Terry, MBS, Burkhead, Jarrett Patterson, McLaurin. It's been scary. Only for my lineup.
Yep,
this past
I feel that, man. He's been burning everybody, including us, time and time again. And it's not a great matchup with him having to go against Darius Slay. So I understand wanting to pivot away from him. Rex Burkhead and Jarrett Patterson should be boring but safe plays, both with a little bit of downside, but both with guaranteed volume. And
I'd be sticking with those guys.
It's full PPR, and you're grabbing some running backs who
you can't get another
wide receiver options.
The last time McLaurin went up against Darius Slay, he caught 2 of 4 targets for 51 yards.
I think he was coming into that game with a hamstring injury designation, if I'm remembering correctly.
And that was Garrett Gilbert, but
it was Garrett Gilbert. He does get Heineke back, but
how much of an upgrade is that? It's debatable.
Marginal, maybe.
Yeah.
The thing in his favor is he's not coming into this game with an injury designation. That's the difference.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's hard to trust him right now. Yeah, he has not done much over the past few weeks. Over the past month. Burkhead and Jarrett Patterson are safe plays. What's up, Austin? What's going on?
Crazy. It's championship week. Yes, sir.
Yes,
championship. Pick 2, have PPR, St. Brown, Pittman, Christian Kirk, and Mike Evans. I think you got to go with the first 2.
Evans has got to be in if he's active. Evans has got to
go
be
with
in.
The first 2, and yes, if Evans is active, I would go with Pittman and Evans.
If Wentz sits, I would play St. Brown. If Wentz
Evans
plays, I would play Pittman. Evans has to be in if he's active. If Wentz is active, Pittman. If Wentz is out, Evans and St. Brown. If Evans is out, St. Brown and Pittman.
Yes.
If Evans and Carson Wentz are out, St. Brown and Christian Kirk. There you go.
And we got a defense question from Kane Z. Which way you going?
Oh, well, ultimately, I'm
going Packers. But
I would lean the Packers, because they're the better team they're actually playing for something. The Bears are playing for whatever pride they.
Sean Mannion, 5 interceptions, no touchdowns, I believe. Let me.
Yeah, give me the Packers.
Say that again.
The Bears are enticing, but the Packers are the better team. I prefer to rely on good teams playing for something this time of year. The Packers are that.
No interceptions, or three interceptions, not 5. No touchdowns though.
In how many games played?
Started?
Yeah, started. 3 or 4.
Let me look. Give me a sec.
It doesn't matter. The Packers are looking good. Packers are looking good this week. And to that point, Epic Vids, Dallas defense or Green Bay defense, I would play the Packers defense. The Dallas defense is on fire right now. The Dallas defense is on fire right now, but it's a slightly tougher opponent this week in Arizona. Green Bay's got a much more favorable situation.
I'd be playing Green Bay there. I have Dallas, and I'm playing
I'd play Green Bay.
Philadelphia in my case. So, I like the Dallas D. They've been great, to your point.
Tougher matchup this week.
Tougher matchup. I'd be going
Green Bay's got a much better matchup. Packers.
Yep.
And Austin's got a lineup question here as far as the best option. Allen instead of Lance and Hill, yes.
Yes.
Higgins. You could play Waddle, AJ, or Deontay Johnson. Whoa, okay. Ronald Jones, Eckler have to be in. Yep, I wouldn't play Montgomery over either of them.
Could be Big Ben's last game.
Oh, you have Kittle and Andrews.
You playing Deontay? No, let's get to that wide receiver question.
That's the question. Yeah, I would play
AJ Brown, no Julio Jones back. Higgins off a great stretch.
I know.
Or Deontay Johnson in Big Ben's last game at Heinz Field.
AJ Brown. He came back and reminded everybody last week.
Yeah.
He came back. Like, I love Deontay. I do. AJ.
And then Ronald Jones, Eckler. He's got Montgomery. I would stick with Ronald Jones and Eckler.
Yes.
If anything happens, though, and you need to stick Montgomery in there, if your COVID list or injury or whatever, solid swerve. But I would stick with the guys you have in there currently. And then Kittle, Andrews.
Playing, that's the tight end spot and the flex spot, so he's playing.
Okay,
that's why he's got to sit like someone like Deontay and Waddle or
and
like
Montgomery.
Yeah,
but you're not.
I think you got to do that. I think you got to play Kittle and Andrews. You got to play them both. Suck up is fine. Packers D looks good. Yep, I'm good with that, Austin. Let's get this win.
Yep. Shane Tuck start Lance or Huntley. Lance.
Oh, we got
you would
this
say,
already.
Right? You had already gotten that one.
Shane. I don't know if I think this was close to the top. If you missed it, Lance. I like Lance for the upside this week. Better weapons, and Odell has the best matchup. The Ravens are giving up the most fantasy points to wide receivers over the past 4 weeks in the NFL. Odell. Dad, DIYer, and donut aficionado.
Respect.
That's a renaissance man right there.
Gronk or tight end, or Gronk or Knox at tight end. I'd be going Gronk. This week.
Good matchup against the Jets, and is going to be needed. He's going to have to be featured regardless of if Evans plays. Evans is coming into this game questionable. AB is coming into this game questionable. Godwin's for sure
gone.
Game
time decisions, not just questionable.
Right. So Gronk in a good matchup where he might be heavily relied upon.
And I'd be going Boston Scott out of those RB2 options.
Yeah. No Miles Sanders should be the 1A for the best overall rushing attack right now in the NFL. That's the Eagles rushing attack and just that in general. Scott should see plenty of work tomorrow as the 1A, regardless of Jordan Howard's status. Yeah, I would play Scott.
Carnohi, you're flexing CD in PPR. Should you replace him with Eli Mitchell?
No, play CD, especially in full PPR. I know there haven't been like ceiling weeks from CD, I think, the past couple of weeks, but he's not up. Like, this is not a situation where I'm like concerned about him. Kind of floor games recently. 4 for 66, 6 for 50, 7 for 61. PPR. If he scores a touchdown on any of these, he's still, he's giving you what you're hoping for. CD. Eddie, glad we could help, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's get this dub. I agree. Let's get this dub. What's going on, James Martin? Got Sony Michel, Saquon, Kareem Hunt, and Mixon. You're playing Sony and you're playing Mixon.
Yes.
Lock it in. Saquon is impossible to trust. Kareem Hunt is also in this situation impossible to trust.
Yeah, Mixon is a must start, and so is Sony.
Right now, yeah. Cam Akers. First of all, shout out to Cam Akers. He is Superman for seemingly being able to return 5 months after an Achilles injury. But that being said, Sony's going to be the 1A this weekend, if not just the one this weekend. Darrell Henderson's out. I can't expect Cam Akers to see more than like a handful of snaps.
If that.
Yeah, like it might be an emergency situation. Sony.
Yep.
And Mixon. Yep. Saquon can't be trusted. Kareem Hunt can't be trusted.
You're starting 2 RB1s this week. Oh,
yes, sir.
Snap. My TV just turned off. What the hell? Or my screen.
Uh-oh.
Not my TV.
Fix that. In the meantime, I'll take the next question. Richie's got Goddard or Gesicki in PPR. Goddard over Gesicki. I would play Goddard. I know he's had some drop issues, but he's had some big performances. I think like 2 out of the past 4 weeks, something like that. Going against Washington, I think Washington gives up lots of points to the tight end. They give up lots of points in general, just on defense. Okay, they're a little bit more middle of the pack, but Goddard is...
I'd be going Goddard.
Goddard's a safe tight end 1. Gesicki's more of a high tight end 2, maybe a low tight end 1. I think Goddard is safer. And between the wide receivers, St. Brown, DJ Moore, Lazard, Mike Williams.
St. Brown, then Moore for me. If you need
St.
one,
Brown.
St. Brown.
St. Brown's been St. Brown has been a rock solid wide receiver 2 for the past month.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. St. Brown.
And GTA, hey, appreciate it, man. You're
appreciate
awesome
it, man. Welcome to the channel.
Yes, sir.
Greg
Z.
There we go.
Greg, how you doing, man?
You're welcome. Gage over. Oh, yep. Right, Gage over Parker. Yeah, that works. One wide receiver and one flex.
I'm on Russ St. Brown, Gage, Eli Mitchell if he plays.
Eli
Josh
if he
Jacobs,
plays.
Jeff Wilson.
St. Brown I would play St. Brown over Gage.
And then Eli Mitchell or Josh Jacobs.
I would play Eli Mitchell.
49ers running back or Josh Jacobs.
I would play the 49ers running back. I would play the 49ers running back. Houston's a run funnel. One of the easiest to target.
Not quite Jets level, but almost. Yep.
They're right there.
Yep.
They're right there. Yeah. The 40 Greg, I'm on Ross St. Brown, put it, he's the wide receiver over Gage. And then in your flex, Mitchell if he plays, Wilson if Mitchell doesn't play.
JT86, thank you very much for the super. Much appreciated.
Thanks, man.
Bears
Appreciate
D
that.
Or Saints D? I think I'm going Bears.
The Saints
and full
are good.
PPR, Deontay Johnson or DK. It's easy for me. I'm going Deontay there. In Big Ben's final game at Heinz Field, I think he's going to try to put on a show.
Against the Bears.
But I would be going
whatever a
Bears.
show is for Big Ben these days could be ugly. But Deontay at home. Deontay's been better, been more consistent. DK has been inconsistent. And they're calling for anywhere from 75 to 90% chance of rain. That's going to make it a little bit more difficult.
Yep.
As far as catching the ball. So if that wasn't enough, DK has been hard to trust recently. And Lockett is a full week removed from being activated from the COVID list. So, and he was talking about it earlier this week. I don't know if you saw those interviews, but Tyler Lockett was talking about how it got him, COVID hit him pretty good. So last week was no surprise. Tyler Lockett dudded first game back from being on the COVID list. I don't expect a repeat of that, now that he's 2 weeks removed. So that's not good for DK is the point I'm trying to make.
Right.
So Deontay for me. The argument in the Saints' favor is they are just a damn good defense. They're just a really good defense. That being said, I think I lean the Bears. There's enough of a tier break here for me. The Bears matchup is so good. The Giants are an offense to target for opposing defenses. For fantasy defenses, the Giants are an offense that you want to play your defense against. This week it's the Bears. They're not a great team. They're not a great overall unit, but they're good enough to get it done tomorrow. Bears. The Saints are close. They're a good defense. They are. They're a good defense. But the Giants are the Giants neutralize everything as an offense.
Yeah. Deontay and the Bears.
Bears and Deontay and the Bears. Hopefully that helps, and appreciate the super.
Hell yeah. Caleb. Hey, thank you, man. Thanks everybody in the chat. Thanks everybody for tuning in, being here.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Michael, how you doing? Thoughts on starting both Keyshawn Vaughn and Ronald Jones against the Jets as your RB1 and RB2? How desperate are you?
Yeah.
Who are your other options?
Right. I mean, I guess I kind of have an idea, but I'd be curious to know too. Like, who are the 2 or 3 guys on the wire who would be like next man up for you? Ronald Jones is in this situation a clear no-brainer. If it's pulling teeth,
if there's one team to do that with,
could be
anybody playing
the Bucks
Jets.
this week.
Yeah, and it could be the Bucks this week. Yeah. I mean, it's not ideal, obviously. It's not a bad desperation play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate it, but I just want to hear if there are any other options you got out there.
Yeah, agreed.
You have Ramondre, Jeff Wilson, Jared Patterson. I'd be playing Jared Patterson over Keyshawn Vaughn.
Oh, yes.
For sure.
Yeah, I would play Patterson over Keyshawn Vaughn. Yeah. Give me the volume.
Ronald Jones, Jared Patterson, man.
Mm-hmm.
Being honest, Abe, how you doing, man? Van Jefferson, KJ Osborne, Gabe Davis, or Emmanuel Sanders, but just no, not Emmanuel Sanders. Or Jacoby Myers have PPR.
Van
Jefferson.
Yeah, the matchup is the matchup's awesome. The Ravens over the last 4 weeks, the Ravens give up the most fantasy points to wide receivers. They're a mess on defense right now. Baltimore is. I would play Van.
Yeah.
Myers would be my boring floor play. That is a little.
I wouldn't
harder
even be playing that game. Van Jefferson.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be playing the floor.
With Jefferson.
I'm not playing the floor game with Jacoby Myers. Sorry. I'm just going with Van in all situations out of those options.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Daggers, you have Pollard, Zeke as well. You're obviously playing Zeke. You guys picked Gallup, Jarrett Patterson, and Von Berrios, depending on the news. But would you play Pollard in that last spot? A 3-stack Dallas.
I
think I'd be going Patterson.
Maybe. Patterson.
We already had that debate already.
What about over Vaughn or Berrios?
Yes. Patterson.
Pollard over. No. Pollard over, playing Patterson, but also playing. Right? Couldn't you play Pollard over Vaughn or Berrios?
Yes. Then I would rather have Pollard over Vaughn or Berrios.
I would play Pollard over Vaughn or Berrios. Yes. Gallup, Patterson, Pollard. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get your Cowboys in there. They just hung 59 on. Arizona is way better than Washington, but 59 points is 59 points. This offense can score. Yep. Pollard over Vaughn, Pollard over Berrios. Yes.
And Iago, you can flex Harris.
This was
Jones
the Harris
too.
or Jones.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jones is the upside play. Harris is the safe play. Would you play Jamar Chase over Justin Jefferson? I don't think I
Yeah, I would play Jamar Chase over Justin Jefferson this week. Yes.
Something to think about, Iago.
2 starts. This guy Sean Mannion, he's gotten 2 starts both
Something
in
to
week
think about.
17. So he hasn't been playing the team hasn't been playing anything when he's gotten these starts. They haven't been injury or anything related. For Kirk Cousins, it's just been Sean Mannion seeing the start this week because week 17.
Yeah.
Right, you get my point. But even in week 17, when lots of times the good teams are sitting their star players for long stretches of the game just because they need to get through it healthy. 3 interceptions, no touchdowns.
Not great.
I would rather go with Jamar Chase, who has Burrow, who's phenomenal, than Justin Jefferson with Sean Mannion, who's clearly not. Yeah, I would go Chase over Jefferson. I'd be going Cooper Kupp and Chase this week when I need points. Championship week, I'm not gambling on Sean Mannion if I don't have to. Nah. Justin Jefferson is great. I don't like his quarterback situation this week. Chase.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. And Keynesy, we got that one for you.
Yep.
We're leaning the Packers.
Yo, that name is dope.
I like it.
Need to win the championship. 12-team PPR. Pick 2, Terry McLaurin, Van Jefferson, Antonio Brown, Braxton Berrios. If Antonio Brown is playing, you got to play him.
If AB's in, he's got to be in.
If he's not in
your lineup.
Are you so off of McLaurin that you're going Van Jefferson here?
Well, you pick 2. Let's pick 2. So I would play Van. Yes, Van would be my second play here. If AB is out, I don't think I could play. The matchup situation is better for Braxton Berrios, but that's a tier break for me. I can't play Braxton Berrios over Terry McLaurin. I could play Van Jefferson over Terry McLaurin. I don't think I can play Braxton Berrios over McLaurin. AB is 1, Van Jefferson is 2, Terry McLaurin is 3.
Yep.
Russell Wilson, Taysom Hill, and Trey Lance. Who to start? You're starting Trey Lance, man. Start Trey Lance. I'm planting my flag. Go for the upside. The matchup is great. Best collection of weapons, like overall, for Trey Lance when you factor in the running backs, and he'll run. All these guys will run. Wilson's probably running the least of these 3 guys this year. The difference between Lance and Hill is the weapons in the passing game, and the matchup is as good as it gets. Almost.
Kane Z, Happy New Year's to you too.
Yes, sir. Happy
Kevin
New Year.
Barrett, hey, these are questions I don't know the answers to. Sorry, man.
I don't know.
There's no analytics on that one. Logan Hampton, IDP question. I know nothing, man.
I'm going to say Devondre Campbell. I'm going to say Devondre Campbell, the linebacker for the Packers. I mean, he's really good. He's really good. We are off the Vikings this week. I got to imagine he's in line to make a lot of tackles potentially if they're going to be handing the ball off to Dalvin Cook. And there's, against Sean Mannion, good opportunities for a play here and there. Maybe a sack, whatever. It could be a turnover if Mannion struggles at home. Like for him, he's at home in Lambeau. Packers are favorites in this game. Defense should be teeing off. Devondre Campbell.
There you go. And Dolphins defense versus the Titans, or Rams defense versus Ravens?
Miami. I can't, you can't ignore the streak that they're on right now. Obviously, the Titans are a good offense, and they're at home. The Dolphins have been beating up on some lesser offenses, but guess what? They've been getting it done in a big way. It's hard to ignore at this point. I think I would play the Dolphins. Rams defense is good.
Going up against the backup quarterback. I know he did good last time we saw him, but
yeah,
I don't know if I can do that. I mean, I know Miami's been good, but they haven't gone up against a guy like AJ Brown.
Or Ryan Tannehill, or for that sake, Ryan Tannehill.
Rams defense is a solid unit, front to back, and they're playing a backup quarterback.
Miami's just been better for fantasy purposes recently. I think I say Miami.
I'm sorry, man, we're split.
We're split here. I concede that Miami has mostly done it against unimpressive offenses, and the Titans are a step above most of their recent competition. But they've been so good recently that I can't ignore it. Miami.
And Tim, AJ Brown for sure.
Gotta be AJ.
Yep.
Gotta be AJ. What I just said about the Dolphins, it doesn't apply to AJ Brown. Despite it's a tough matchup for him. The Dolphins have good corners, but AJ Brown's that dude.
Daggers, you're welcome. James Martin, T. Higgins, St. Brown, Ayuk, Van Jefferson, Brandon Cooks start 3. T. Higgins, St. Brown, and Brandon Cooks.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Ride that Bengals wave. Ride that St. Brown wave.
Yep.
Brandon Cooks is first game back from the COVID list, so we have to keep that in mind. But there's a tier break here from a talent perspective.
Yeah.
And a matchup. The matchup is good for both Van Jefferson and Brandon Cooks, but again, there's a talent tier break here. Cooks. It could be dicey coming off the COVID list, but he's in this situation with your alternatives. Cooks is too good to sit.
Yo, GTA 5, no dumb questions. Come on now. Dak or Russ? Yeah, it's Dak. Gotta go Dak.
Gotta be Dak at home. Cowboys are playing for at this point. Russ is playing to finish up this year so he can get out of Seattle.
Yeah.
Dak's playing for something. The Cowboys are playing for something. Dak's got a deeper collection of weapons, a better team. Could be a shootout against Arizona. They just hung 59. Dak.
All right, you got Ramondre, Jeff Wilson, Jared Patterson, James Conner.
This was Michael's question about
right.
No, we're playing Patterson, right?
Yep.
Or played actually.
James
you
Conner?
Can't do this. No, because Jared Patterson plays in the early window. I was going to say pivot to Jeff Wilson if Elijah Mitchell is out, but we're not going to have the luxury of knowing that before Jared Patterson plays. So just play Jared Patterson. Ronald Jones and Jared Patterson.
Rashad Kareem, how you doing, man?
Trey
Lance or Taysom Hill? Trey
Lance, baby. Trey Lance, man.
Fire him
those weapons. The weapons are better. The rushing upside is similar, but the matchup is good. And the passing attack, the weapons are better for Lance.
Yo, and Brian Gibbons. These two
Michael, you're
questions
welcome.
are really
this tough.
Splitting hairs. Jared Patterson and Burkhead are basically on the same tier just because they're guys that are getting all the work. We don't particularly expect them to do a lot with the work, but we're expecting 20 touches for each of these guys.
Patterson's got a slightly better matchup by the numbers, but Burkhead's a proven vet.
Yeah.
Right. So
coming
that's
off a
kind
22.5 PPR fantasy week. So
yeah. Matchup is much worse, but Burkhead, David Johnson's on the COVID list, right? There's nobody left. There's nobody left for Houston. Brandon Cooks being back could help Burkhead, actually.
Get him into scoring position more. Yep.
Yeah, keep things, open things up. They can't, less likely to be able to key on just one guy.
The thing with Patterson is he's a decent pass catcher too.
Yeah.
So he's gonna see a lot of dump off passes, whereas Burkhead might not see as many.
I think
Davis Mills has been good, better than Taylor Heineke lately.
I think both are okay. I think both are okay as far as their floor. I think Burkhead has a higher floor. I think Patterson, because of the matchup concern, has the slightly higher ceiling. Slightly.
And who you going, MVS or Scary Terry? Tier break or you going MVS?
Because Terry McLaurin doesn't have an injury designation coming into this game, and because MVS is coming off the COVID list for the first time since last week, I am going to say Terry McLaurin. I'm going to go back to that well.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
It feels,
but you got to Terry McLaurin.
Very scary. It's pun intended, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
But there are intangibles here at play where I prefer the chalk option. Terry.
Yep. And Rashad, Chase Edmonds, or Cordero Patterson.
Oof.
That's another one where these guys are real close this week in the rankings.
This is close.
Earlier in the year, we would have said Cordero Patterson for sure.
No brainer. But remember, James Conner's coming into this game hobbled. Actually, I think Edmonds might be too.
They both are.
Patterson is there's much more downside with him now. Hasn't delivered the past few weeks, and this matchup is probably almost as brutal as it gets. Even though they just gave up a whale of a day to Damian Harris. But the Falcons are less reliable as an offense as a whole, probably, than the Patriots are. I would say, Patterson is the go back to the well type of guy. Been my guy all year. Have faith in him. He got me here. That's I'm rolling with what got me here type of play. Edmonds, I think, has a little bit more upside I think he might be coming into this game. No, he doesn't have an injury designation.
I'd be going Edmonds.
I think I'd go Edmonds. He was getting limited practices in this week. That's what I was thinking of. But he doesn't have an injury designation. Edmonds. James Conner does have an injury designation coming into this game. Edmonds does not. And Patterson has dudded the past 3 weeks, and it's the Bills. It's a bad matchup. Edmonds. Yeah, Edmonds. Yep. Edmonds. I feel okay about it.
And Daggers, hey, good luck to you too. Have a good night.
Sir.
Lucius, thanks for joining us. How you doing?
What's up, Lucius?
You need a cute quarterback and a tight end. Hunter Henry, Foster Moreau, or Pat Fryermuth, and Dak or Trey Lance.
Fryermuth. I'm going back to the Fryermuth well. If you were believing, like you said, John, last game in Heinz Field for Big Ben, Fryermuth has been, when he's played, he's been rock solid for 440 and a touchdown. Like, he could score 2 this week. I would say Fryermuth.
Hunter Henry hasn't been leaking up with Mac Jones lately.
And Foster Moreau should be safe. Moreau is safe, but I think Fryermuth is equally safe with a little bit more upside.
Yeah.
And he cleared concussion protocol. He's not on the injury report. Been practicing all week. Moreau's had a couple nice weeks back to back here recently.
But Fryermuth
have been good for Foster Moreau. But Fryermuth has been rock solid when healthy.
Yeah.
Monday night, Pittsburgh.
Fryermuth.
Yeah, give me the Muth.
And give me Dak.
Dak or Trey Lance. I'm big on Trey Lance this week. Dak is a guy that I'm not playing Trey Lance over. It's got to be Dak. It's got to be Dak.
Yep. And defense, would you go San Fran, New Orleans, or Seattle?
Saints. Give me the Saints among this group. They are good. They are at home. They're in a must-win situation against Sam Darnold might be the guy again, but he doesn't concern me against the Saints. They're a good defense playing at home, and they have Taysom Hill back, so I'm not as worried about them as I would be if it was Ian Book.
True.
Saints. Give me the Saints.
Crypto Night Vision. Antonio Brown has incentives in his contract where he would make $1 million over the next 2 games.
That.
If he plays. Interesting.
Yeah, I saw that somewhere. I don't remember where.
Doesn't mean much if he's just injured.
He might be trying to play through it. He'll try to play through it to get. $1 million is $1 million.
Yeah.
I don't care how rich you are. Look, if he plays, he's in your lineup. It's got to be.
Yep. And Eddie, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Appreciate the shout out.
We do get tired, but
eventually, multiple cups of coffee helps.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what gets us through it.
Yeah, let's get this dub though, man. Let's get this.
Yeah, man.
Let's get these dubs. Hopefully, y'all are back.
Yeah, everybody. Obviously, everybody in here.
Stream.
Everybody in here who's asking questions. I know that means that you're probably in a finals game. You're not, if not the semifinals. So,
yep.
Hell of a season, everybody. Congrats on making it this far. Congrats on having to make these types of decisions. That means you to this point, you did what you had to do to get where you needed to be, which is the championship game. Again, or the semifinals. So yeah, again, John mentioned this earlier. We will be hosting one Week 18 live stream next Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern. We're going to take the Sunday morning off.
We're going to be back on Tuesday, right?
We'll be back Tuesday for waivers. We could ask, honestly, that we could open that up to maybe a little bit more dynasty talk. There's probably, for the most part, most people's seasons are going to be over. But if you care, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern might do some early. Like we could do some early dynasty stuff.
Get into some trade targets. Get into maybe some rookie talk if you guys want to get into some rookie talk at all.
You got to do some homework.
Yeah.
But we will still probably prioritize if anybody's in a Week 18 championship game. We'll prioritize this like any start sit questions or waiver questions for the purpose of this. For the here and now for people still playing. That being said, if you do play Week 18. I'd love to know why you play until Week 18. generally speaking, like the second to last week is the good time, is the ideal time to have the championship game.
Yeah.
Less concerns of players playing or sitting week 18. So.
And Rico, what's going on, Rico?
What's up, Rico?
In the finals. Good job.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Good to hear it.
Yes, sir. First of all, always congrats to making it. That's the first
Josh.
step.
Is that Josh Allen? Javonte Harris. Javonte Williams, Damian Harris, Diggs, Chase, Devontae Adams, Higbee, Flex, Deontay versus Rodgers. Oh, okay. Yeah, you got a shot.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so Mixon and Dalvin.
You got a great
and Debo.
You got a great,
Parker,
great lineup top to bottom.
Yeah, I mean, you have the Allen Diggs stack. That's awesome. I think that's Najee. Is that Najee? Is it Najee or Damian? I'm gonna assume it's Najee because you put him first. That's just how my brain works.
Yeah,
I'm gonna assume it's Najee.
Again, he's playing Devontae Parker, so you win.
Oh,
and he's playing Rodgers.
And you have Devontae.
And you have Devontae Adams. He's playing
Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
That's a matchup. That's a matchup favor for you. Any tight end streams out there other than Higbee? That would be my one thing.
But yeah,
I mean, he's fine. He should be fine. I'm not like crazy about him. And you have Deontay in your flex. Yo, yeah, you got a shot. I mean, it's two good teams. At this point in the season, you're going to be playing like another really strong team. But have faith in your dudes.
Yep.
I would have faith in that squad. The only question I would have, Rico, is who are some tight end streams? I might consider a guy like Gerald Everett over Higbee. I might consider a guy like Foster Moreau over Higbee. What are the Ravens giving up to tight ends recently? I think it's pretty favorable, to be honest.
I do not know the answer to that.
I'm going to look up who's been
Crypto,
giving up.
that's very interesting. That's very interesting. So, yeah, he could absolutely light it up if he and try to make it back so he makes that, hits those bonuses.
Ravens are 13th.
Or he could sit. It's really, we need a little bit more clarification on his status regardless.
Ravens are, over the past 4 weeks, they give up the 13th most points to tight ends. So decent, but like not stellar. So, and Higbee's been so blah recently. I'm sorry, I'm not a Higbee believer. Rico, who's on the wire for those tight ends? Who's on the wire? Let us know.
Yeah,
we got a few more minutes here.
Kyle, no, yeah.
Let us know.
Akers probably ain't gonna see much work at all, if at all.
That's a good call.
Break in case of emergency type.
He's not gonna play. And he's not gonna. So he's not gonna play.
Yeah.
He's not gonna play. It's the Sony Michel show. If you have Sony Michel needs to be in your lineup.
And GTA 5, Singletary or Patterson?
Singletary.
I'd be going Singletary. Singletary has been getting all the work. Hold. And he's
did I get that wrong this year? I thought it was going to be Zach Moss.
We all did. The Bills did, though.
The Bills, I think, the Bills did.
The Bills thought it was going to be Moss, and then it didn't happen, so they tried out Breida because they weren't sure about Singletary, and then when they took a look and evaluated everything, they came to the conclusion that Singletary was the best back in the backfield as it stands right now, and they've been giving him all the work he can handle. Mm-hmm. So until that changes, until they draft somebody else or pick somebody up in the offseason, which I do expect them to still do, Singletary's the guy. And you can start him with confidence. And Altuan Simmons, what's going on? Start MVS or Mike Williams. You're also starting.
Oh, we had this already. Play Mike.
Yes, yeah.
So if you missed it, sorry, we did answer this question, but go with Mike Williams. Play your stack. Don't play his stack to your stack. Play your stack. And William, like both of these dudes are very similar. Mike Williams is a better version of the player that these two guys are. Play your stack.
And we are at the end of the chat.
We are at the end of the chat. My only outstanding question is for Rico, if he can give me any other tight ends you have on the wire, because I'm not afraid to move off of Higbee however I have to. Did somebody drop Freiermuth from last week? Like there's a guy. Did somebody drop Freiermuth? I'd play him. I'd play Gerald Everett. I'd play Foster Moreau. There are multiple dudes who I would play over Higbee. If those guys, if it's him, or then say maybe like a CJ Uzoma, then okay, fine, maybe play Higbee. But that would be my only outstanding question / comment about that matchup.
GTA 5, you were down 54 points going into Sunday night, won by 6.
Good,
hey, sometimes that happens, bro. Good job.
How good does that feel, right?
Pollard, Dak, and Dallas D. There you go. And you got Everett on the wire, Rico. Pick him up, start him.
How we feel? Everett over Higbee. I feel fine.
Yep,
I feel
even
fine
in the
with
weather.
that call. I feel fine with that call.
Komet? No, I would go Everett over Komet.
Not Komet. I would absolutely play Everett over Higbee, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not feeling Higbee. I don't know. The matchup is good. He hasn't done much.
There's too many other options
4 weeks
that are better pass catching options in that offense.
Yeah.
They're just star.
Like the Ravens are giving up the most fantasy points to wide receivers the past 4 weeks. Like Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, Van Jefferson,
Jimmy Smith, Marlon Humphrey, both out.
This is a week for those guys.
Moreau's out there. Moreau or Everett?
Everett. Slight edge to Everett.
And that's the weather's like real bad.
The weather's not supposed to be good in Seattle tomorrow, but I don't think it's so much. It's gonna rain. I don't think it's gonna be windy. I'd be more concerned if it's gonna be windy. If it's rainy, that's like, obviously you don't love to see that, but you can live with that, especially like with short intermediate passing game that the tight end is usually involved in. If it's windy, and by all accounts, it's topping out at 12, 13 miles an hour, that doesn't concern me too much. That's not enough.
Yeah.
Everett. Give me Everett over Moreau. Yeah, Rico, go. You got it. I would play him over Higbee. I would play Everett over Higbee.
Yes, sir. But hey, thank you to everybody that's in here right now.
Yes, sir.
If you can't make our stream tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. EST, good luck this week. Happy New Year.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining us. And yeah, man, it's gonna be 2022 is gonna be a dope year for everybody in here.
That's the plan.
Face Mask Fantasy. Let's get this, man. 2022.
Yeah, let's bring home these chips.
Yep.
One more stream tomorrow. One more starts at stream tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. If you need any last minute help or advice.
And Rico, you have Singletary on your bench. Should you keep him on the bench over Javonte?
Yeah, that's like man. Yes.
Singletary's slightly safer.
Singletary's a little safer.
And Javonte has a slightly higher ceiling.
If it's half or full PPR, got to keep Javonte in because I think he might catch a few more passes tomorrow. If it's standard, Singletary has a real argument.
Yep.
But half or full PPR, and I can't remember, Rico, if you put that in. I don't think you did. If it's half or full PPR, stick with Javonte.
Yeah.
If it's standard, I might be a little bit more interested in Singletary in a game that the Bills should control.
Hey, yo, GTA. Best part was the guy. Hey, there you go. Revenge. Sweet revenge.
You love to see it.
Yep. But
Make a trade and then beat that guy who made the trade with you.
Thanks to everybody that's in here. Thank you again, GTA, for subbing. Thank you for the Super JT. Much appreciated. And hey, if you can come hang with us tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. EST, please do. Good luck if you can't. Yeah. PPR, YOLO Javonte, go for it.
Let's go. Do it. Make it happen. But yeah, I think that's the end of the stream for us.
Yep. Thank you for
joining us. See y'all tomorrow.
Man.
Yep. See y'all tomorrow. Let's get these wins.
Yeah.